What if the person you fell in love with asked you to help them die? That's not a spoiler. That's the actual question at the heart of a book that has sold over 8 million copies worldwide. A book that made an entire generation cry in public, on planes, on subway trains, on couches at 2 a.m. It's called Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this story destroyed people emotionally, and why it might be one of the most important books about love, freedom, and dignity you'll ever pick up. Before we dive in, if you love books that hit you right in the chest, smash that like button. Drop a comment telling me the last book that made you cry, and subscribe, because I'm covering stories like this every single week. Okay, let's get into it. Me Before You was written by British author Jojo Moyes and published in 2012. It became an instant phenomenon, a New York Times bestseller, translated into dozens of languages, and eventually turned into a major film starring Emilia Clarke and Sam Claflin. But here's the thing, this isn't just a romance novel. Moyes has said she was inspired by real conversations about disability, independence, and the right to choose how one lives and dies. She wanted to write something that made readers uncomfortable, not just something that made them swoon. So here's the setup, without spoiling the ending. Louisa Clark, everyone calls her Lou, is a quirky, working-class young woman in a small English town. She's cheerful, a little lost in life, and has just lost her job at a cafe. Desperate for work, she takes a position as a caregiver for a man named Will Traynor. Will used to be everything Lou isn't. Successful, athletic, adventurous, wealthy. He ran a business, traveled the world, dated beautiful women. But 2 years before the story begins, a motorcycle accident left him paralyzed from the neck down. When we meet Will, he's not just physically broken, he's emotionally shut down, bitter, sharp-tongued. He doesn't want a caregiver. He doesn't want cheerfulness. He barely wants to be alive. Lou's job, officially, is to keep him company. But what actually happens is something neither of them expects. Two completely opposite people slowly start changing each other. Lou pushes Will to laugh again, to leave the house, to feel joy in small things. And Will pushes Lou to imagine a bigger life for herself, to stop settling. It becomes funny, it becomes tender. Here's why this book isn't just a sad love story. Jojo Moyes wasn't trying to make you cry for the sake of crying. She was asking a much harder question. Who gets to decide what makes a life worth living? Will's storyline forces readers to sit with the idea of quality of life versus quantity of life, a debate that real families, real doctors, and real disability communities face constantly. The book doesn't hand you an easy answer. It doesn't tell you Will is right or wrong. Instead, it puts you inside Lou's heart as she falls in love with someone whose choices she desperately wants to change, and shows you how painful it is to truly respect someone's autonomy, even when it breaks you. That's the emotional trap of this book. You want a happy ending. You want Lou's love to be enough to fix everything. But Moyes uses the story to explore something much more honest. That love doesn't always get to override a person's right to choose their own path, even when that path is unbearable to watch. This is also why the book sparked so much real-world conversation, including strong criticism from disability advocates, who felt it reinforced harmful stereotypes about disabled lives being inherently tragic. That controversy is actually part of why this book became such a massive talking point. It wasn't just entertainment. It became a genuine cultural debate. What makes Me Before You linger with readers isn't just the ending, it's the journey. Moyes builds Will and Lou's relationship through small, specific, human moments, playful arguments, tiny acts of rebellion, quiet vulnerability. By the time you reach the final chapters, you're not just reading about strangers. You feel like you've lost someone you personally knew. That emotional investment is exactly why this book became a worldwide word-of-mouth sensation. People didn't just read it, they needed to talk about it afterward. They needed someone else to process it with them.
And that's the mark of a truly great story. It doesn't just entertain you.
So that's Me Before You. A book about love, yes, but really a book about dignity, choice, and what it means to truly let someone be free, even when it costs you everything. If you've read it, I want to know, did you agree with how the story ended? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if this video made you feel something, do me a favor, like it, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because I'm breaking down more powerful, emotional, must-read books just like this one every week. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.